a Miraculous video. I've never done that before. Yeah, believe it or not, I have even more things to talk about in this Hellfire. Well, mostly Hellfire. Kagami, my beloved. And originally I was going to make individual videos on most of these topics, and then I remembered I was lazy, so I decided to do this format instead. Also, I was really not expecting this amount of support, and it's simply amazing, and it really just makes me want to like work harder on these videos. And I think without you guys, I would just not really want to do YouTube anymore, and it just is wonderful to see all the comments, and it's simply lovely. But enough of this distraction. Let's get on to the main topic of the video. For all the rants and criticisms of Miraculous, I don't see this one brought up all that much. Like, sure, there are complaints about the overall animation, but the character design is rarely brought up. And I do mostly find the regular designs, or the human designs, fine. They're not out of the ballpark, but they're simply okay. So, well, some of them anyway. But the Akuma designs? Not to mention the fact that the creator keeps yelling everyone's ear off on Twitter about how amazing their design team is. No. Well, while not completely, there are some genuinely good designs, all of which happen to be the ones. And of course, all the left of the designers, I'm sure they get paid like a nickel per hour or something. And the reason why they're probably not that great is due to their harsh working conditions, especially due to the pandemic. So I do have some sympathy. But come on, he's literally a peanut. Also, sort of off topic, but I noticed a lot of the villains, they have very repetitive powers.
But they all have different designs and genres.
On a technical level. But for real, if you look at the most of the Akumas, you can sort them into like 3 sections. I capture people in an object or immobilize them, I turn them into mind slaves, or I'm just a huge brute, like a Godzilla or something. And yes, there are exceptions, but this just now seems repetitive. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? At this point, it just feels like if you get an hour of screen time, you get Miraculous. And it's not even like to advance the plot, it's just to sell more merchandise. You know, in Season 2, when they introduced the 5 other Miraculouses, I was fine. We do need an explanation of why Hawkmoth has one, and like 2 out of 3 of the characters were interesting. It was simply fine.
Then Season 3 strolled on up.
But again, I get it. The villains are getting stronger, so they will need backup. But why don't they focus on, like, the OG heroes getting stronger? Like, I don't know, a training arc? But fine. These characters will get their own Miraculouses. Surely the episode they get will be the one that's focused on them. In Miraculous, all you have to be is be in Marinette's friend group and have slightly more screen time than usual, rather than actually prove yourself to be worthy of the ability to bend the fabric of time. And once again, I get it. These are times where there's like no time to rationalize and they have to get things done before the whole city blows up or whatever. But why not give it to like a grown-up? No, actually, on that note, who the heck gives a 14-year-old the responsibility of saving a whole city? And it wasn't even an emergency. Hawkmoth wasn't even like attacking, but surely has a good reason, like their descendants, or his fate, or he was training them for a long time.
They helped him get up when he tripped, and a kid saved him from traffic.
But who's to say these guys aren't sociopaths? Well, actually, that's not too far from the case, but still, a guy who kills puppies or whatever could still save someone if it could boost their own street cred or get riches or something. Like Della de la Cruz, a guy who poisoned his own friend and stole his songs, jumped in to save a drowning child. So again, a horrible decision. It's jumps of logic like that I see in other magical genres or anime. But at least they have like the excuse that they were like the reincarnation of the Queen of England or something. But nope, just one clinically insane Mary Sue and a depressed blonde boy. Although Luca is definitely one of the fan favorites, he is one of the most bland characters I've ever seen. I don't hate him, or heck, I don't necessarily think he's like a bad character, but I think that's just the problem. Luca is not really a character. He's a plot device to cause drama between the main romance. Why? Because we need to have a what-if situation, which is honestly pointless, because there's no way they won't get the main romance of Adrian and Marinette to happen. Like, come on, they've been doing this for 6 years.
But isn't Kagami the same thing? a plot device?
No, because she's actually a character with emotions, goals, fears, and so on and so forth. And her short-lived romance with Adrian actually developed unlike another I can think of.
Oh wait, Luca does have a personality trait. He's cool and nice.
Oh my gosh, he has two character traits? Two character traits? Please tell me, dear viewer, please tell me what else adds to his character.
He plays guitar?
Okay, exaggeration, yes. But Luca, in terms of character, is so flat and generic, even the reason why he likes Myrna is shallow. Yeah, but it doesn't make him a good character. Just because a character is morally right doesn't mean the writing is good. For example, Deku. What? Who said that? I don't know, man. Many people like him, and I like people. So I guess, Luca, you're safe from elimination. For now. Hot take, Hawkmoth was one of the better characters in Miraculous. Yeah. Yeah, he's really cheesy, but instead of that one-dimensional villain that's evil for the sake of evil, or Mary kicked my balls 10 years ago, now I'm going to surgically implant balls onto her and kick them back, Hawkmoth is a different type of villain. Hawkmoth's main motivation for going after the Miraculous is to revive his dead or paralyzed wife. Are his measures extreme? Oh yeah, totally. But at least the plot around it makes sense. And Gabriel doesn't seem a very kind person in the beginning, so I don't expect him to have a lot of empathy for other people. Well, except for one. Although Agrest is devoted to his cause, he does care about his son.
Well, he does show in some odd ways.
So when he finds out there's a possibility that he could be fighting or endangering his son, he freaks out. What's that? I smell actually good drama and character interactions. Yeah, at this point, that is the bare minimum I need in Miraculous. Now, of course, in the same episode, they disprove that he's fighting his son, but the idea of the main villain being the father of one of the heroes is a great idea, and how the father could slowly realize that and go through.
It's Adrian, your son. He's Cat Noir.
Cat Noir, my own son. The Miraculous will soon be mine.
I really do not like Chat Blanc. It's just a what-if episode written by a drunk 15-year-old on Tumblr, and it ruins so many characters, especially Hawkmoth. Remember the build-up in the Gorilla episode that showed the tension between the fact that Hawkmoth could get very, very stressed if he finds out that he's endangering his own son? Like, do you watch your own show? But Chat Blanc wasn't the only thing that ruined him for me. During the first season of Miraculous, Hawkmoth seems to be the only villain until this Kill protagonist jumps in. Now, at first, I didn't have all that much of a problem with Natalie, but that was up to until they tried to make a romantic side plot with her and Agrest. Okay, so although you can argue that it's platonic, the show knows what it's doing.
Okay, so why is this a bad thing?
It's funny you ask that, my unnamed strawman, because with this, it basically ruins Gabriel Agrest's whole goal of reviving his dead wife, and it would sure be awkward to have his wife undead herself and just find them not making any room for Jesus. But although I do like Hawkmoth,
For the first 2 seasons, anyway.
I wasn't so hot on his powers, which, if you didn't know, basically whenever someone gets mad or sad, they get infected by these butterflies, I mean moths, and then they become supervillains based on that anger they were having, or whatever the hell's in their hand. How angry do you have to get? Don't know. The show would literally rather die than explain to you. But I do think it would be funny if something like this happened. I am Hawkmoth. I give you the power to seek revenge on those who have wronged you by... why are you angry? I stubbed my toe on a sharp corner. Oh, well, I will give you the power to take revenge on all sharp corners in your life. In exchange, you will give me your Miraculouses. Now go, Doigt de Pied. Also, how come in a population of 67.39 million, only one person gets angry per day? Don't know. Also, why doesn't Hawkmoth just give his villains really OP or specific powers to get the Miraculous? Like, you have the ability to kinetically steal any piece of jewelry just by looking at it. Or you have the ability to find out any superhero's true identity. But if they really did that, then the show would be much shorter. So why doesn't the writers add more detail on what he can and cannot do with his powers? It would have been so easy! Everybody and their lost long uncle from Nigeria has talked about this, and I usually won't talk about something that has already been said millions of times, but I still have something to say. The blonde bully stereotype has been around since prehistoric times. They are forced dramas to move the plot along, and usually are just mean for no reason. They also will usually have one or two friends that sort of just sit there and exist. But once in a blue moon, we will get this genre subverted and make them actual compelling characters. And not just one singular line saying, "My parents expect me to be perfect and now I'm a moral Jesus." But Chloe, like I said at the beginning, was a blonde rich bully stereotype who was only there to cause B-plot drama. Well, that's what she was at first. As the series goes on, she starts to get more attention at the red flags about her life, and it's only until we get the episode of Style Queen where we learn that her mother is the equivalent of a pizza oven deep-fried turd, who not only neglects her daughter, but literally says that the only special thing about you is the fact that I gave birth to you. And you wonder why she's such a narcissist. So we already had the idea that her father was a spineless loser who could probably nuke all her parents if she screamed loud enough. This was on another level. But rather than the show just using this for out of a viable reason to continue being a little turd for the rest of the season, in the same episode they give her a Miraculous. And what did she do with it?
She attempted to crash a train.
Well, yes, but she did it to impress her mother, because all that Chloe truly wants to be is accepted. Which, frick, is pretty powerful for a kid's show, and this isn't a one-time thing in the show. Despite Chloe's numerous mistakes as Queen Bee, we can see that she slowly gets better and starts to do things on her own to better herself. We can see how she slowly drifts away from her idealization of Ladybug. We find her treating her friend Sabrina better, and even the show stops making her the B-plot antagonist because Lila can fill it easily. You know, this is a really good redemption arc, probably one of the best I've seen. Like, it's definitely not perfect, but it's genuinely really good. I am going to do my best to keep calm, which is a very hard thing for me to do right now. Miracle Queen is probably one of the worst episodes in the history of children's entertainment. Not only did they take a character who is flawed and turn them around to become a better person, which shows kids that you cannot redeem yourself, you will forever be a horrible person, but they ruined her development, and they even gave it a chance to pull it around. And then again, they ruined it. Now tell me, what was the reason to take your best character and ruin it? Miraculous! Please tell me. Please, with your great knowledge, please tell me. It's because the writer didn't like the fact that other people preferred her over Ladybug. Then why didn't you write her as a complete irredeemable piece of garbage from the beginning? But still, maybe, just by like a pure miracle, they can maybe make this work out. Maybe if they redeem her next. So it makes me want to have a lobotomy. If you're wondering whether I don't like her because of her personality or if I don't like her character, here's your answer. Zoe is just Luca, but worse. Zoe's only reason for existence is to be a replacement for Chloe and to piss fans off. She also just so happens to be Chloe's long-lost sister or something. She also just so happens to run into Ladybug and become friends with her and get a Miraculous. But please explain to me why you really think we prefer the dull, bland, generic American teenager with no motivations or connection with characters, rather than the tragic mean girl who slowly becomes a better person with just as quotable lines as Regina George. I don't know, at this point I don't care. Unlike Chloe, I have to hate towards Zoe's situation. I simply feel nothing. I can simply not care anymore about the series. I think I'm just gonna go throw myself off a cliff.